In 2006, Montreal was designated a UNESCO City of Design. But what makes this Canadian city so unique? How do residents and visitors experience the design aspect of life in Montreal? Let's take a look back. Montreal's modern history, at least with regards to architecture and design, begins here, right in the heart of the city with the construction of Place Ville-Marie. Completed in 1962, this building is still a definitive icon of this Quebec metropolis. But that was just the beginning. The years that followed were full of colossal projects. For 6 months, the World's Fair, Expo 67, harnessed the best of the city's creative talent and welcomed over 50 million visitors. Habitat 67, built initially as a model housing project, is the work of the then very young architect Moishe Safdie. The American Pavilion had its outer transparent covering destroyed in a fire and is one of the rare Expo survivors. It now houses the Biosphere, a building dedicated to environmental awareness and efforts. The French Pavilion was converted and is now the Montreal Casino. A few years later, in 1976, the Olympic Games breathed life into the city with its landmark stadium. Montreal is an island with a mountain at its center and is set in the majestic St. Lawrence River, an important shipping link to the sea. Montreal's rich industrial past left its mark with buildings that dominate the landscape. Silo number 5 is a series of grain elevators bordering the old port of Montreal. Now vacant, no other use has yet been found for them. However, they form a majestic backdrop along the riverbank, creating a setting for this black boat, which is actually an old ferry turned into a spa. The city has developed its recreational side, and Old Montreal is full of attractions that entice residents and visitors down to the St. Lawrence River. Other more modest buildings also pay tribute to the city's past as a major manufacturing center. Most are now converted into apartments and office spaces, some more luxurious than others, but all much coveted. But for most, the trademark Montreal landscape looks like this. Lively streets with brick or gray stone houses accented with a touch of vibrant color. Duplexes and triplexes pressed close together, similar, yet each different with their imaginative ornamental touches. The residential streets define the layout of its urban look, a language carried forward in contemporary versions by the city's architects. Less visible, but no less intrinsic to Montreal's homes are the back lanes, yards, terraces, and gardens. What also catches the visitor's eye are the many outdoor staircases, wide or narrow, straight, or the famous spiral-shaped iron. These are also found inside buildings everywhere, often where smaller apartments are now joined together to form larger dwellings. Montrealers love their staircases and industrial lofts. They also adore outdoor spaces where they dig into gardening projects as soon as the weather permits. The Unity Project brings together all these components. An old factory converted into lofts, it joins 2 buildings, an old and a new, around a landscaped indoor courtyard. The essence of Montreal's soul is also experienced in its boutiques, restaurants, and ubiquitous cafes. Whether ultra-contemporary or with a certain old-world charm, decor plays a major role. Here is a French bistro, as interpreted by one of Montreal's great architects who designed several variations, more as a tribute than an actual pastiche. While some have followed this no-frills style, others have carried on with tradition, favoring the use of rough materials, staying away from the sleek or ultra-modern. Restaurants and cafes abound, Even here in this tiny space on the street, recycled shipping containers showcase fresh lobster on sunny days, and a variety of food trucks bring food lovers together. Like its colorful housing, Montreal is a living collage of posters and styles, a patchwork of different cultures. Take these characteristic poster-covered walls. These allow cultural institutions and events to advertise for free. This street sign dispels the winter dreariness with its vibrant and colorful graphic designs. The streets teem with cyclists. In fact, increasing numbers brave the outdoors all winter long. Designated locations have their own Bixi stations, a public access bike system designed by Michel Dallaire, who based his creation on the shape of a boomerang that departs and returns again. Michel Dallaire is also the designer of Place Riopel's street furniture in the heart of the Quartier International, one of the iconic projects of the last decade. The streets are full of vitality, drawing on the creative talents of builders, artists, designers, and landscapers. Montreal has developed a real expertise in everything involved in producing interactive group projects that are, above all, poetic. To host them, several outdoor public spaces have been installed. Large public areas designed to lure visitors during the summer's many festivals and other events. Any occasion is reason enough to throw a party outdoors, even in winter. This despite the myth of the underground city. Each year, the Place des Festivals offers nightly, colorful light therapy to beat the winter blues. Sound and image combine to create memorable moments as one explores the pathways. The light that is so cruelly lacking in winter has been replaced by a leitmotif throughout the city. Montreal has fun with its walls, public spaces, and buildings, creating a visual panoply of shapes, mirrors, and colors. It even plays with the sky as these giant projectors do, referencing the Place Ville-Marie beacon that has turned for over 50 years.